Good God evening. Lord have mercy. I thank God that I did have a few minutes to spare to talk to you about this particular chapter 19. And right when I was going to be talking to you about cultivating a relationship and looking for integrity, these two words stood out to me. So that's why this title is here: soulmate versus surface mate. Yes, God. I started thinking about a whole lot of different words in here, and I pray that you will hear me out for this little short time. But look at in Proverbs 19, overall, like they all are, they're trying to align us with our values, what's right, what's integral, and it's talking to us to provide different types of guiding lights for us to see in the spirit and to hear God when He's showing us, ding dong, this is not from me. And so I don't want you to think while I'm sharing this information about different issues, whether it's male or female, that I'm trying to be biased about anything. I'm just trying to get you to see areas that you need to be paying attention to make sure that God is giving you a soul mate, not a soul tie, not a vomit tie, something you went back to get a rebound from or whatever. When we talking about a soulmate, one that God has given you that is divinely appointed by God, and you know it was God, and so you don't have all these other question marks. So this soulmate has what? An equal yoke. You have the same type of feelings about the Bible and faith. You understand that there is a covenant here that is by God that you all are willing to follow. So you have a consistency there. But anyway, let me think about what I'm trying to share here on the surface mate. Now, the surface mate is what a whole lot of problem is now, because people are just looking at people who are going to give them what they need on the surface part, meaning you got money, and in this surface part, I'm talking about the physical, because the soulmate is already going to be clicking if you already went into bed with them. Okay, that's why the covenant is very important for you to be equally yoked and be married. But when we're talking about a surface mate, we're talking about somebody who got all these other agendas, got all these ways. And I want to give you here, that means that now you're looking at the package on the outside, the hips, the boobs, and these muscles, whatever y'all call it, these whatever you call abs or whatever. You're looking at the surface and not looking at the soul, meaning where are you in the spirit realm in my bloodline that I may be connecting with you realm. We don't look at none of that. We look at what's going to feel good and what's going to give you your financial security as far as you're concerned. This is why a whole bunch of people have jacked up today. I want to share a couple of things you need to be concerned about in this chapter. And number one, verse 1 is talking about integrity. Okay, better to be poor better the poor whose walk is blameless than a fool whose lips are perverse, meaning looking at the moral character, not just thinking about the valuables that they have in the wealth. It's better to be poor and live a righteous life than to be wealthy but dishonest. And remember, they can talk a whole lot of talk, can't they? But remember what I said. Most of the time, they're not going to be loyal, and most of the time, they can try to be loyal. But what about the people who can't just be honest? Like I said, stop expecting these things out of people to be loyal and all this, and they can't even be honest with you about the real truth of who they are. So here we are on verse 11, talking about patience. Verse 20, talked about the importance of counsel. Verse 21 talked about God's purpose. Verse 17 talked about compassion for the poor. And then verse 18 talked about discipline and correction. We've been talking about that. Verse 15 talked about avoiding laziness and respect for authority. Verse 19, and then verse 23, fear of the Lord. This is why I want to jump in right now and give you this overall view about this one verse that I thought were really two, verse 22 and verse 23 that really stood out to me. And that is to make sure you look at verse 22, 21 and 22. 22 and 23, it says the desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. 23, the fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. But here's the deal. Many of us are visiting are allowing evil to visit us in a lot of ways because you haven't did your homework. You know, especially whether you're male or female, and even when a covenant relationship, friendship. You know, think about what is making you happy. Thinking about what is sending you void. Think about what you are compromising with. You got to know your mate, like I talked to y'all before about that. You got to do the practical thing. You got to make sure, how is this person affecting me emotionally and spiritually and my faith? You know, where am I compromising? And you need to make sure that that person is there to grow you up and not have you weak, or you vice versa, taking away the strength. And you're looking for strength in each other. You also want to look at, is this mate multiplying to you? Or are they decreasing you? Are they bringing you peace? Are they bringing you, how they say, agony all the time? Are they cultivating you? Are they torturing you? Or are they bringing you triumphs? Remember, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Well, where are you? Do you understand that? Or you just doing that because, now 22 really stood out to me. Why? Because this is one of the things that's rapid today in relationships. Many people are getting with people for things, muscles. Many people are trying to get with people to try to see whether or not they can supply all those things, and there's no consistency in any of it. But 22 says that this verse is telling us that the character, you got to look at and see whether or not you're just looking at the surface versus the soul. Ask yourself these questions. Am I really looking at someone that has integrity? Are they authentically in love with me? Not just for surface, not the part about sex and gifts. Are they reliable? Do they have any wisdom of God? Are they fair? Are they cheaters? Are they haters and fakers? Are they jealous? Are they just very violent and abusive with their mouths? You know, and think about, are they diligent in what they say they're doing and consistent in their lifestyle? Do they look like they may be going both ways? You know, we got a lot of men and women today that have made a decision that they want to be they call a salad bowl now. I do whatever it takes to make sure I get some love. Think about humility. Are they a humble type, gentle person? Are they looking at the riches? Are they looking at the honor of trying to make sure that they be respectful to you and your family and your children? Think about that. Do they have self-discipline? Or are they got wandering eyes and want to cheat and play all this time to try to find out if you're going to be able to handle where they're coming from? They lack no self-control. Are they generous and are they patient? All the fruit of the Spirit is so necessary. I pray that this has helped you today. I pray that you start remembering to look at the wounds, like I talked about last night. Look at the wounds of your mate to make sure you understand who they are, what they got coming up. It's going to be a part of your life and your family. Because remember, it all is going to come with the salad, even without the dressing, even without the cake and the ice cream to go with it. It's going to be right there. Remember, those weaknesses are there because you are not paying attention to the areas that God is trying to get you to see. It's past the surface. It's in the soul. I pray that you have a wonderful weekend. I'm looking forward to talking to you tomorrow. Night, night.